begin the game. All right.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
Wow, is this
But what I
Valorant?
like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator.
Whoa,
It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is.
It does seem eerie to me as well.
And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So,
Okay,
it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction.
I'm so nervous.
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay, November 2008. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, that
This
okay,
game
but
is
I don't
called
play
Escape
FPS
from
is the thing.
Whisper,
I don't play
and
FPS.
it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
What am I? Scared me so bad. I want to leave. Why are we so tall? I don't know. Who am I gonna shoot? Who am I gonna shoot?
Hostile alien life forms inbound.
Hostile alien life forms? Nah. What?
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is.
I don't like this game.
And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Let me out of here. Open up.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, scary. I don't like this one. I don't like that. Somebody let me out of here. So like opening in the window? No. I'm out of bullets. Is it a button I can push or help? Oh, I'm an idiot. Haha. Very good problem solver. Oh no, a maze?
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it. Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off,
Scalp.
and then you get to the engine room.
Ooh.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse.
Ascending
I
to
don't even know.
Celestia.
I have no idea what he was thinking,
Bye.
but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Find the final ascension. The past was behind her. Yeah, I can't move, so...
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. No.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
But the future could not be seen. Why does the future keep changing? It's over here. This is so interesting. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? To confront it.
It's a short little
changed.
thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to
that was
me
cool.
is why
I
it
actually
works,
really like that.
because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
The vibes are very off. Yeah, this is I definitely feel like I'm definitely on the edge of my seat. I don't know what's coming. You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish
So
I'd known him at the time that he was making these
sausage.
early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
This is like, I really enjoy like independent artists, and it's because they don't feel bound by any sort of like standard for their artwork, and it turns out to be really, really creative and interesting. And I never want to lose that. Like with my writing or whatever I end up doing in the future, I don't want to lose my... Oh.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Can I press enter? Ooh. You construct a wall. The wall is destroyed. You are given a medal.
Room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Stand on the neck staring at a bear for 3 hours. No, I wanted to read them. Dang, that was... Fish! That's me! You are a gate. You ever want to stare at a bear for 3 hours? Me too. Where's my Protzel gun? Tag yourself, you are a gate.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I don't want to go back in there.
Don't
I
forget
got
that
it!
solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Puzzle game.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
I don't know if I want all the walls. Oh. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like all the doors. I don't...
How about that?
What?
There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
To get away with all
Either
the
way,
stairs?
I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Oh. Oh, that is a great question. Oh, if you don't get to know what you're missing, then what is your role as the player? Ah. Well, it really makes you think, like, the whole idea of what you're missing, it doesn't really exist. Right? You don't really miss anything. You are now exiting. Oh.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them.
I do not
And
feel
once
that
we
I'm
have, we can
exiting.
step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. The lovely and great descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
I hate, like,
Every video game runs on
empty
what's
spaces
called
like
an
this.
engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
like, I hate, this is like my nightmare.
To make all of these games,
Just being trapped
Coda
in
is
like
using
this
an engine
with
called
nothing
Source.
around me.
Like all engines, Source has certain
Very
things that
right.
it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Wow,
The tools available to the creator shape what
Picture.
kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You
Sure.
might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
interesting. I really like that comment that, like, creators have to use the tools that are available to them. Ah, this isn't open. Dang it. I want to go. Ah, don't like it. Don't like it. I love this new platformer game. Oh. 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 Ooh, the light in this room is beautiful. Wow. Yep, I like this game so much. Stop! I don't like the... I don't want to go in there. No. Let me out. I don't want to be in here. Ah! I don't...
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
10 months, Poggy, let's go.
This is
I don't
something
like
he
the
and I used to
prison.
argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Creative people are often a little rough around the edges. Creative geniuses, that is. People who think unlike the majority of people often act and speak it differently as well. This person who's narrating obviously understands Coda and appreciates what he has to offer and who he is as a person. I don't like prison game though. Can I leave?
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Oh no, I missed it! Never mind, I didn't miss it. I missed it.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Let me out of here!
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
You there. Did you come up from above? What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were these floating colorful blocks. I chose 2. Okay. I don't like the heads. Did you get through the puzzle with the 2 doors? And switches? I'd prefer not to tell you, after all, we've only just met. Yes, I did. That's literally the last thing I did before coming in here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. Let's go 3. You were trapped here. The puzzle's our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Let me describe it for you. Let me tell you all about what's over there. Alright, I will tell you how to solve it. These dialogue choices are so creative and interesting. I'm gonna go with 2. No, that isn't possibly enough. I need to actually be up there. I cannot simply be told what it is. I must see it myself. I must escape this prison. There must be an ending. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? No, I've been right here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Who are you? Why would I sit in the black space? Oh, it's plenty peaceful. It may not seem that way at first, but you'll come to think so in time. Eventually. Yeah, the music is good. No, not that.
One last descent down to the final floor of the level.
No. Okay, I thought this was never ending. Thought it was one of those never ending spark staircases.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Man, this is so interesting. I really enjoy the narrator's comments. And that dialogue had my head spinning a little bit. Leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I am compelled. That's me right now. That's all of us. Yeah, Coda's really creative. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Take my hand, let's jump together. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. This is a note. Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Whoever made this has issues. Art. Help, I'm trying to speak. Think about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. From here, it just looks like dots. Cabbage-shaped donation. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Stop pretending you are other people. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Maybe I'll feel real someday. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. There must be some reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. More room.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
And the whispering implies that it's also inner demons as well, or some, just battling with your own mind. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does this puzzle have a solution?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between the spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
I hate all the noises. But I understand them.
Okay, this one is tough. It's
Oh,
gonna
no.
kind of just spin its own wheels for a few
Oh,
minutes.
no.
Hang with it.
Okay, alright, it's okay. We're doing this together. Grab your buddy if you haven't already. It's gonna kind of spin its wheels, is that what he said? They all have very similar structures. The games. Bye, Moke-chan.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just
The
walk to
Count
the
of
end
Monte
the hallway.
Cristo?
Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version
Okay.
2.
Yeah, the music is good. It's very ominous. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? How about... Put a giant hole in the ground? That's not a hole, that's a table. Okay, now what would go along with the wall of the room? 10 stoves lined up against the wall. I'd really like a washing machine. Let's put a huge picture of a horse. Horse. Hey, that's not... Okay, we'll put live Tesla corners in coils in each corner. Wow, I love having no control. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? Tables were invented in 1935.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
I don't like this game. Hello, please walk forward. What if I don't? What if I don't? Okay, I don't think I get a choice. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow instructions carefully. Take care, remember each step. Click on this table. Good. Photo frame and turn it slightly. Now, turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Floor lamp, this one. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In the real prison, escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay. The 3 holes. Yeah. There's a lot of reoccurring items in the game.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these.
No, I don't
really
like
unloaded on
this.
this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally,
I don't like
it's
it.
awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Pretty. Pretty. The lamp. No thoughts, only lamp. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you. After you escape the prison. You're me. So you were trapped in the prison too. Yes, I was the furniture maid.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Yep, I was the furniture maze. Yep, I was the escape tutorial. Yep, I was the reverse prison. That's where I am right now. I'm so glad to know I get out eventually. What's it like to escape? Actually, I'm already forgetting what being in prison was like. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. I feel like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Oh, that's me. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared that I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. No, I'm really the same person now that I was back then. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. Don't worry, it's actually not a bad thing, I promise. Well, you get something in exchange. The problem is that you don't actually know who you are right now. Ah! Yep, that's where my brain was going. Yes. Man, okay. This dialogue, monologue, I guess, is so creative and interesting. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Yes, I did get a call, that's how I escaped. We're Coda right now. I mean, we're the character. Then maybe you can tell me how to get out. Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? All you have to do is be sincere. You need to talk to me. You need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out. I promise it works. Just talk to me, it'll make sense. Okay, I can talk. Let's talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I will be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Okay. Ooh, this is pretty. Bye, Jasper.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh yeah, I see the door. pretty. Ah! That scared me. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean the entire house myself. And right, miserable that would have been. Everyone knows how lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Don't worry about me. A place that's nice I'll be glad to stay here all night. Well, now you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself there, no? Why don't we start cleaning and then you can decide whether you could do it all night. I'll finish up here in the meantime. Could you please clear the table? Yeah. Run to the bedroom and make the bed. Yeah. Sure. Where's the bedroom? Oh. I actually liked how it looked before. Why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel calm that rests in the pit of my rib cage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way it seems, which I guess is all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Will you straighten the pillows on the sofa out here? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled drink over by the couch. Mind mopping that up while you're over there? I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Yeah, I'll try to get by. Do you absolutely have to? No, say it. All right, fine. They're watched. Now tell me your thing. Boxman. How about you scrub it down as best as you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Oh, the tub. Tell us the thing! The books are so scattered on the floor of the bedroom. You put them on the shelf. Oh my gosh, you just organized the whole... How about you come and clean these dishes off
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future
I know that
you?
Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and
I want to
look at.
read it.
This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
President Yu wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not. Trust me on this one. Oh, cheesy thought. I was gonna say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird saying that. I get it, there's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? It's like, yeah, it's like a pause break. This game mentioned that cleaning is good for everyone. Dishes. You are not your dirty dishes. So yeah. I'm obviously like in games and all forms of artwork, you self-insert in a lot of ways, and for me, like, this just makes me think of the repetitiveness I experience in my own life. Like, every day we wake up and Joshua leaves for work, and gosh, now I'm getting emotional. I want to say what I want to say, okay? So we live in a routine. This obviously breaks from the routine, but through the routine, we like, we grow closer together. And, you know, maybe something like this interaction. This game is so cool. Okay. Ugh. It's the music too. The music is getting me. But yeah, it's like the little mundane things in life that allow you to grow closer to the people you love.
I'm glad he found some peace.
The mundane tasks of life get really boring, but not the people. Question,
But,
do you
of
enjoy
course,
this?
It can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave.
No.
The door at the top of the hill is now open as well.
I want to
Again,
stay in this
you
one.
can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Yeah, I guess so. But what if I don't want to leave? I like this one. It made me have a thought about my own life. I want to continue. I don't want to leave the sanctity of that beautiful house. But yeah, that was cool. Little epiphany. Epiphany moment. Not the
Which is the whole
lamppost.
point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
How did it?
I really
Initially,
thought
I
that
was
the
scared.
point of it.
Clean, and now I want clean back. Clean, come back.
This
Items
one
you
gets
love.
a bit goofy.
Ooh, goofy. Oh no, I'm a student. Why'd you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationship more meaningful? No! You came here to become perfect. The workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. Instead of make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It's so easy. It's so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being
the
perfect
perspective
is
shifts.
effortless. I'm the teacher! What?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh! Haha. So, what's going on around here? There are people screaming, people dying, arguably. It's just me and this one student. Listen me, I'm gonna stand on this desk and I'm gonna stomp. And you're gonna listen to every word I have to say because I'm a genius and I'm better than you are. Anyways. The whole perfection thing, honestly, nobody wants to say that we want to, like, internally you have to, people want to be the best. They want to be better than other people. Everyone wants to be better than other people because we're selfish. It's a wormhole to the spiral abyss. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold inside. Being alone must be awful. What are these responses? If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for life, you're not doing it right. Okay, so I think the yellow thing, I feel like the yellow is what I'm supposed to say, and then the black ones are like my inner thoughts, like what I'm not supposed to say. Nothing, no one. It's coming for you, it's gonna destroy you. Everybody, run! Are we gonna die?
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Yeah.
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way.
Yes.
And completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
Yes. Yes,
I think
yes,
about this
yes.
game a lot these days.
Ah, so good. Nobody's perfect. You gotta work it.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make.
Sorry.
It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this. And it's not like it's particularly complex. So I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Not the prison furniture stage. Am I gonna sing a song? Is Keanu Reeves gonna come out and Johnny whatever? The opera. Okay, alright, the performance is beginning. Please is please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Wow, everyone, look at me lean against this wall. I am amazing. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It is your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Oh gosh, yes, okay. I knew the responses were gonna be bad. This is how networkers see the world. My brain is turning like... My CPU is overclocking right now thinking about all this stuff. This whole idea that you have one shot, you have one shot to take something from another person so that you can succeed. Oh, it's such a dangerous mindset. It's not good. Also, I love how this feels. I love that I love that we're on a freaking stage with these hot lights from every direction, and all I have to do is go up to this person and say something. Wise, happy, focused, successful. Hello. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. Please, I tried. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Ugh. Oh gosh. Oh no, this is too relatable. I'm super scared right now. I like you. Here are all my hopes and dreams. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of a setting. There were lots of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Ooh, is this like when you're revisiting a conversation that you had and trying to decide if it was good or not? You try to analyze the conversation, you're like, did it really go that badly? I want to get stuck in these. Social anxiety prison level. Exactly. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? Oh, those are tough questions. You're messing it all up again. You flicker out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Oh no, this is it? I'm leaving? Stop!
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest,
all these
I didn't
games.
consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After
Scared me
this,
so bad.
Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new
Coda
game.
Kenny. Man. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click the game to begin. What? Then my vision suddenly went black. Help, I'm blind. Hello. Let me. Please, somebody talk to me. Flap. Oh. What's going on?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Hello?
And there is a solution, by the way.
The door. The door. Somebody talk to me. Ah. Wait, is there a... No. What? Oh, lamp. Lamp. There's a lamp up there. Okay, wait. Can I get upstairs? Beam me up. Hello, truth. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I don't feel it anymore. I'm out of my
Like I said, I
ideas.
was getting concerned.
It's
First
draining
off,
me.
He's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like
Hi,
he's
Mom.
having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Ugh. It's so powerful being honest and so hard being honest and saying that you're not in love with something anymore.
From here on out. After this game, it's almost
Thanks,
6
Mom.
months before he finishes something new.
Thank you, MT. I appreciate it. Wow, how are we feeling, guys? Are we okay? Are we good? Are we a little bit, nervous? Because I am. I just don't know. I obviously don't know where this is going. I'm fascinated. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. We are deaf nuts. It's very thought-provoking. It's a bit sad and anxiety, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. I knew it was going to be a lot, but Happened to me a long time ago. I had to admit to myself my lifelong passion just wasn't there anymore. Yeah, yeah. I actually wrote something about that. I wrote a memoir about that exact experience. When a dream that I'd had held on to for quite a few years just like faded. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I had a whole identity crisis because I was like, man, I've built my career, my plan, my career, like I've built my studies around this, and now it's just not there. Yeah, yeah. This type of art is so helpful and powerful because it reminds us that we're not alone, you know? Okay, so new game. Hello! I don't like the breathing. No, it's distorted music. What domain is this? Where did this island come from? Please stop breathing in my ear. Oh! Did that just appear? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been so long since I talked to someone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give my work. Bye, Darcy. Your teapot looks weird. It's so hard to admit this, man, that you're not excited about it, especially when you're good at it too. Something changed. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I tried to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. I'm trying to find this engine. Oh, this is hitting way too close to home for me. Like, you're looking for a machine. I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. Oh. Need to see it to know why it stopped. Thankfully,
if the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
This is like so personal. I feel so privileged just to get to play this. Okay, I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve it, we'll find the machine. Deal? Deal, deal. It doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're going to end up there one way or another. Deal. Ooh. Ooh, where'd you get the recipe for that? I want that in my teapot. The Adeptal Gate looking different here. That go on TikTok? Yes.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
First, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. The fog surrounding us is kind of relatable, yeah. This game also makes me appreciate the value of like internet communities for people who have a particularly hard time like interacting out in real life or in, you know, the open world. That like just an internet connection can make a huge difference. Now you just press the switch here.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
I love Genshin Impact and like, I love the community that's brought, but I never want to stop playing games like this because I think they do a lot for me and for all of us. I can't believe I never solved this before. Okay, here we are. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that the game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Alright, making games is effortless. Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me.
Just never stop
I was
creating
watching
and
him
you'll
do
never
this to
feel
himself,
bad.
And I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Where's the machine?
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Yes, more. Keep
I don't
going.
know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it.
There is no
I
shame,
wanted
no
it to
fear,
stop more than anything.
no guilt.
I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
I'm a vessel for certainty. Frick. I'm scared of this one. They're getting worse. It's like, I understand where he's at, although I don't think I've ever been to this level. But it's like, if you're burnt out on something and you don't have any ideas, but it's like, if it's all you have, you just keep doing it. You keep going, even if you don't even like it anymore, because it's all you have. Man. Human beings. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. I intend to be quiet. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we may... Okay, well, I didn't get to read that, but... What will you do with it? What will you do with it? Can you tell us? Will it be punished? Do you have the poisonous games? Oh, my dyslexia is really liking this. Can you give us answers? Could you take a minute for an interview? What are your next actions? Hello. How did you capture the machine? Can you tell us? It's nice to visualize it. I literally had an experience.
And of course, it's the machine.
I had an experience like this where I didn't know, like, I was trying to find what was it? Like, what was it that made my, like, heart stop wanting to do this thing with my life? And I, like, wish there was just some switch I could turn on. But there's not, you know? There's not. There's not. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Stop feeding us. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do your job? You need to go through you need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I have seen the things you fear. Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. It hurts. It hurts, man. My followers. My friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than we think we are. Than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show us that we are not failures. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Ooh. Not the lights. Not the stage lights again. Don't turn on. Oh! That's a gun.
Remember,
Yeah.
you can click to fire the gun.
I know. I get it, okay? Something to shoot at. Oh. Let me out. Let me through.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
I'm nervous about what's gonna happen. Now that... No, 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 no. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna prepare for the worst.
can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
But it's not about you.
Oh
no.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
I don't know how much of
This is where I have
this.
trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I don't know how much of this is based on a true story. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I don't think the narrator necessarily had negative, bad intentions. But I think he tried to solve Coda's problem for him, and... why is there a woman's voice? Crying.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really
flash warning, flash warning.
The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Epilepsy warning.
But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Yeah, epilepsy warning, jeez. Okay, you know what? Anyways. Bruh, what is all these screaming?
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Okay, you know what? Now I'm getting suspicious of the narrator. Because now he's saying that he messed with his games.
The
I
only
don't
way
know.
past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here.
I missed it again.
I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Meaning the narrator spent all that time trying to figure out the code. Yeah. Either that or, did some digging or, I don't know exactly how it works, but... modified it somehow.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
Okay,
I
but
feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
but it's not about you.
So let me do that.
It's not about you. Yeah, it's scary for you. You're being selfish. Yeah.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
Okay, it's not about you.
It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow.
He's a person.
I failed, and I don't understand why.
Coda is not a project.
It's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
I can't tell if I'm actually getting higher or not.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me.
What?
But he stopped and left.
What? Yo,
like
that
I
is
had
toxic. His work my own? Hold on a minute. Very sausage.
Where did I screw up?
It's not about you. Oh my gosh, it's not about you.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Okay. Wow, okay. So I think, okay. I think the narrator Okay, so up until like maybe 10 minutes ago, I was under the impression that the narrator was only modifying the games so that we, in this compilation of games, could get through the puzzles. But what I'm thinking now is that he was very critical of Coda's games while he was in the process of making them and spoiled it, the whole process for them. Yeah, the narrator was too intrusive. Coda didn't want his games to be fixed or modified. He liked them as they were. Yeah. Destructive criticism. Yeah. Well, it's become clear now that the narrator is just thinking about himself. The narrator is just thinking about himself. So, if he's just thinking about himself, and also has always seen Coda as some kind of project, that's clear now. Yeah, he didn't need the games to be playable, he just joined the process of making them. He took the joy of what Coda did because he thought that's what Coda wanted. Was the same as what he wanted. He could have had all the good, yeah, he could have had all the good intentions in the world, but it's the impact that matters. Exactly. I mean, people do a lot of terrible things with good intentions. How he kept track of how long between Koda's games he had to wait to play, like Koda owed him games. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't think it's over, so let's keep going.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Please shut up, because I didn't ask. I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you. You've so infected my
The people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself.
This is so meta.
Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You know what I've also realized? Is that he keeps talking over me. Like we walk into a room and there's words written on the wall and he literally talks over you as you're trying to read it. I didn't even realize that. I thought it was just like bad game timing that you'd like miss. Like sometimes he talks over the dialogue or like he talks over like as we're doing sequences. Like I just realized that makes sense. Wow. Very meta. He won't even let me read this. He's literally talking over Koda while we're trying to play Koda's game. It was off purpose. Honestly, it's genius. You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Give them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Wait. Okay, wait. Wait. He said Koda added the lampposts. He's a liar. So we've been playing the edited versions of Koda's games this entire time. Yeah, definition of unreliable narrator. I didn't believe you guys when you guys were saying the narrator was sus. I was like, nah, this is just like we're just walking through the games. Okay. Now I'm waiting I feel like I still don't have the full picture.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything
Shut
left
up.
to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
The timing is so perfect. It hurts. Oh, it actually makes me angry. Would you let them be what they are? Can you just let me speak? You piece of garbage. When I am around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something. I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. Oh my gosh, so Koda is fine. So Koda is fine. It's the narrator who's unwell. He's projecting. He's literally projecting.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, the hero complex. Uh, the fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than me. Yes, tell him, Coda. Oh my gosh. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make some peace with the things you're wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about, and when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Oh, I bet it's not going to be. I bet it's not going to be on the other side. Yep, I knew it.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work.
Oh,
you were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
I feel like I almost, man, now I feel guilty. I feel guilty and I feel complicit, even that I've played this game. I feel like I got swindled.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Yes, it is a disease. Pretty. Lampposts everywhere. Man, I feel like I didn't even get to see, like, Coda's unadulterated work.
Solution.
Ugh. The lamp was flickering. I didn't even see that. It's the narrator.
If someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate.
Maybe if someone had just told me.
So many people that he was depressed.
So many people?
Maybe
what do you mean?
Just likes making prisons.
Oh my, so Coda's just your little project, huh? Oh, this is infuriating. My brain is not really.
Now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a person you are. They'll hate you.
I don't.
Ooh. Whoa. Oh, that's cool. I like it. I kind of hate it though. Wow, I can't believe how quickly that shifted from being worried about Coda to being...
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Ah, that's so sad. That's such a sad way to live. No, 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 no. He needs help. Yeah.
What
I
now?
mean, you can seek forgiveness and like, when you mess up this badly, I mean, he's not in the right state of mind. Like, he's very much, like, he's called it an illness already. Like, he's definitely, this is definitely a mental illness that he's dealing with. Or not dealing with, rather. I don't know, man. This is a really complicated, very complicated,
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm
make up for, I don't know.
just gonna... Okay.
So what, am I just alone now? And now he's gone. Finally, some peace and quiet. Maybe the narrator wants us to fix him? I mean, probably. No, I don't even know what to say, honestly, because this is such a this is like so complicated. I think that's it. I wondered if it would be like this. I don't think this game is gonna have like an ending or gonna have like a credit roll. I think that's it. Oh, wait. Never mind. Ah, back to the first game. I'm hoping it's the glitch. I'm hoping, yeah. I'm hoping it'll glitch instead of just turn over. Because remember how he modified the original game? Let's see. No! Oh. Oh. Ah, yay.
Turn back.
Hmm.
Turn back from this cave.
You can't see it, but it says 4R. It says 4R.
Said, let me prove that
This project would not be possible without the following individuals.
let me keep going.
Ah.
But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man.
You're so tired.
That was,
But
wow.
I know that you're strong.
Ah, so much to
Back,
think through.
turn back.
Never be the same after this. That's everything I heard about this game, the beginner's guide, is that it's like it's just not. Oh, things just aren't the same after you finish a game like that. I don't know why it was called the beginner's guide. I just want to say, share the love and treat everyone with respect. Yeah. And don't try to fix people. There's a difference between helping and fixing. And there's also a difference between helping someone for their betterment versus helping them because you want to satisfy some need to be some savior in yourself. The lamppost. I'm really glad we played this. That was absolutely worth playing. Like I just have so much to think about.